So there's this rumor that in the church, a lot of the sister wives would sit around and breastfeed and swap kids around.
That is not true.
I actually breastfed one of our kids that was not my own child.
Janelle and Gabriel are blasting Kody in the latest episode of Sister Wives. The two have an open and honest conversation about how Kody has behaved himself since the split, calling him out for not taking any accountability.
He hit me up. It was like strange because he was like, hey, I miss you. And then he was like, he kept like phrasing it like I owed him an apology. And he's like, eventually I was just like, hey, unless you're like actually ready to have a relationship and fix things, then we're not gonna talk anymore. He came back a couple of days later and texted me. He's like, hey, I've been like thinking about what you've been saying. I forgive you. Please forgive me. And I was like, forgive me for what? Like, what's going on here?
Gabriel then revealed what it would take for him to fix things with his dad.
I think it would take Dad really setting things straight, and I think that would take an act of God, so.
I don't really know what Kody wants. The last I knew, he really just thinks the kids should, let him be their patriarch. And how that would go, I think, is that they would have to conform to the way that Kody and Robyn see the world. That's how I perceive it. And I think that's how my kids perceive it too, and they just don't want any part of that.
Janelle is just dead wrong about me and patriarchy. I've never been patriarchal. I've never behaved patriarchal. I actually was just angry once when Christine was leaving, and I said, hey, we're going to do this patriarchy thing, but I've never been patriarchal.
So when did the rift between Janelle and Kody's kids even start?
My children have really begun to express that they feel like COVID just presented an opportunity for their dad to do what he's been wanting to do for a long time, which was live and make a life with his favorite wife. I mean, let's not mince words. And their dad had been expressing things to them just off the cuff about, he wished that he would have waited and just married Robyn.
I never once told any of my children that I wish that I would have waited and just married Robyn. That's a misunderstanding that has become a gossip in the family. It's like the telephone game or that game where you just repeat gossip, and by the time it gets back to you, it's completely distorted. It's really untrue.
Gabriel then went on to blast Robyn and her behavior the past couple of years.
I think that Robyn definitely has a victim complex. I mean, to put it bluntly. And I don't necessarily blame her for that. I think that different people devise different strategies to keep themselves afloat, but.
And I feel really bad about the kids because I
miss having a relationship with all of them, but I don't blame them at all for following along party lines,
But can Gabriel ever patch things up with Robyn?
If she actually believes that we were mistreating her or her children in any way, when she was constantly getting favorited by Dad and we were always working on our relationship with her kids, if she actually believes that, then there's no chance of me having a relationship with Robyn ever again.
So where does Kody stand in all of this?
Yeah, I'm just so frustrated with Kody. Look, I've seen this happen. I have several women I've worked with over the years who divorced, and then the father just goes MIA with the kids,
I'm really sorry that Gabriel feels this way. I have reached out to him multiple times, only to get rejected. But it wasn't from a lack of trying on my part.
But not all of the kids have bad relationships with Kody and Robyn. Mykelti is still on speaking terms with them, and they even visited her and her newborn twins in Arizona.
I'm definitely happy to see my dad. I don't see him very often just because we live so far apart. I'm very proud to be a mom to these twin boys, so I'm very proud to show them off to my dad.
So Mykelti has actually been kind of in this neutral position, I guess. Polarized family, but Mykelti and Tony are still hanging out with us. I really like Tony. I get along with Mykelti well. I see something very special in her.
I think that Mykelti kind of sees that there are two sides to this. I just think she knows more of the truth. I think she sees more of the truth.
While on the topic of babies, Christine shut down a rumor about her and her sister wives.
So there's this rumor that in the church, a lot of the sister wives would sit around and breastfeed and swap kids around.
That is not true.
I heard
Hey, careful.
I heard a funny story that you guys would pass around kids and breastfeed them in a big circle.
We never did. That was just a joke. We never
Are you
did
sure?
That. Never.
I don't believe
That is not
you.
a cultural. We did not. That was
Yeah, I
joke.
strongly disagree too.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard from other people that it was a common thing in growing up in your guys' church that you guys would just pass around kids for breastfeeding.
Which mother's nipples haul out the longest?
No, it was a joke. That's disgusting.
But although Christine claims she never breastfed any other kid besides her own, Meri has a different story.
I actually breastfed one of our kids that was not my own child, and that was something that was kind of medically necessary at the time, but it wasn't something that we did on a regular basis just for fun, just for kicks and giggles.
Speaking of Meri, she revealed this week that her church granted her the release from Kody.
So Kody and I are no longer married in any way, shape, or form. So there's that.
So Robyn and I were driving home, and I got a phone call from the church leader who said, we've given Meri a release. And he said a few other things that I don't want to necessarily disclose that sort of upset me.
They did say that it was on the grounds of abandonment, and I know he doesn't like that word because he doesn't feel like he abandoned me. I feel like he did.
Robyn felt that if I waited on God, that things could change for mine and Meri's relationship. And that was advice that I took. And I waited. And as time went on, I realized that it was never really going to work. And I'm sorry to Meri for that. I wish I would have figured it out sooner.
But as one door closes in Meri's love life, another door opens in Christine's love life as she goes on her second date with her now husband, David.
He's just solid and he's real, genuine, and I gotta just be me. And he really liked me for me. I could tell. When I met Kody, married Kody, we had a very different relationship. He was already married, and I wanted to be respectful of that. So we'd talk on the phone, and we were good friends before we got married. But it's not like this giggly, fun, like it's really solid. Like he's a really, really good guy. He hasn't made any physical gestures of being attracted to me, right? He didn't hold my hand on the second date, and we didn't kiss on the second date, but it is only a second date. I get that, but still. So anyway, before things progress anymore, I need to have a conversation with him about, is he attracted to me and everything like that. So it's yeah, I really like him a lot.